Hey guys, if you enjoy the content of my videos, you can like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notices of my uploads of all my videos, and also comment down below. Welcome. This is the Day Show, and I am Day Summers.
Today we learned that Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez is also facing a serious challenge in New York's 14th district because rising GOP star Cherie Murray is an immigrant and entrepreneur. She announced her candidacy today. This is her first interview. Thank you, ma'am, for being with us. We appreciate you joining us. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be with you this evening, Sean.
You know, you just heard what she said, and we have 12 years. It doesn't matter how we're going to pay for it. 12 years left, and we shouldn't be eating hamburgers for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't know anybody that does that. And the concentration camp, et cetera, comments, and everything that you just heard. What is your reaction?
Well, it's disgusting. I think the narrative on the national level needs to be dialed back, and that's why I'm in the race. I'd like to represent the constituents in Queens and the Bronx. And we see AOC from the time she's been elected. She put out policy like the job-killing Green New Deal. She then went on to kill the Amazon deal in New York, which would have put some 25,000 jobs in Queens. And so these are some of the reasons, along with kitchen table issues, that I do believe that AOC has neglected in her limelight bid to focus on in the congressional district.
Those 25,000 jobs in the district you're running against her in, average pay 150 grand. Now, I did think the governor and the mayor of New York were crazy in what their giveaways, and I think it's unfair to give benefits to one company and not another company, but that's a different story. But saying, do we have to question having kids? They did say the Green New Deal, whether you're willing or unwilling to work, basically everything's for free, no more oil or gas in 10 years. I don't understand it. If we only have 12 years left and that we have to do this all in 10 years, why don't we just party the next 12 years and it's over anyway?
Well, Sean, you have some points there, and I do believe that we have to start talking about the issues that are important to the constituents of the 14th Congressional District in Queens and in the Bronx. We have infrastructure that is important to the constituents. Our subway system is crumbling. Our roads are in desperate need of repair. Also, Sean, our education. We need to really tackle our education system, the diversity here in New York, the education system. We really need to start talking about policy that's going to connect with the everyday Americans. She mentioned no children, right, or kids. I'm a mom.
Well, let me ask you this. How would you describe yourself politically, and how do you feel about President Trump in the 2+ years or 2.5 years he's been in office?
Well, I migrated here from Jamaica, and I know firsthand what it is to not just be an immigrant, but to go through the process, right? And so what do I think about what the president is doing? I think that the president is delivering on his promises when he got elected.
Yeah. Well, so you are announcing your candidacy, and we're going to watch this very closely. I have noticed that a lot of people in the district of hers, 25,000 jobs, $150,000 on average, she let that go. I don't think that was a good move.
Listen, I just want to get all of your viewers to go to my website so that they can learn a little bit more about
what is it, real quick?
CherieMurray.com. Follow me on Twitter. It's been overwhelming, the level of support that I've received so far, the enthusiasm. So I just want to say thank you to all of your viewers and everyone out there that has just encouraged this campaign on our launch today. Thank you, Sean.
Cherie Murray, thank you for being with us. We'll follow your campaign very closely.
I want to get into this topic of why we don't really have an ADOS, a real ADOS candidate that are involved with these upcoming elections. Now, you just saw this new candidate that is Jamaican immigrant born candidate, beautiful woman. She's in the Republican Party. And you see how the immigrant community has risen and gotten so much smarter to where they're putting their people right up in a matter of a few years in front of everything and putting them into places to where their voices could be heard. Now, I don't know what the infighting and all of that is going on with the Democrats and the Republicans. I don't know what's going on with them. All I know is what's not going on with ADOS and DOS and people who are African American. And again, we're left to see other groups excel ahead of us, and we do nothing. I was wondering and hoping that either the Minister Farrakhan or someone would develop a person who was good enough to be a candidate in these local elections that they're having now. They're having local elections and, city elections, state elections. And we don't have anything. We don't have anyone who's a real ADOS. The only thing that we have are these people that have been there for years and that have done nothing. Now, they're all into this infighting with, I guess you call them the squad. And we don't know what's going on with that, because the squad was supposed to be for people of color, but it's not coming out that way. I don't know what they're doing or who they're for, but they, this group called the Squad, they talk about African Americans in a bad way. It's almost like they want to try to show us how to be handled. One of them a few months ago, she was actually trying to put a handle on a black woman. The black woman was a Republican, and she spoke to her in such a messed up way. She called the woman a token, and she said it with such authority, and she said it with such, the way that she was doing it, it was almost as if she was trying to put the woman in her place, but not to get the man that the woman was defending upset at her because he was white. She didn't want to offend him. She just wanted to make sure that this black woman understood that she was not allowed to have a free mind and to be able to speak the way that she wanted to, or defend people. She had to just basically be quiet, because she should not be talking. She didn't have a right to talk. And if she did, she was going to be told how much of a token and all of that she was, to her shame. And that's not true. Nobody in the world that is African American would ever tell another, especially a black person, that you don't have the freedom to think on your own. You better think the way that I said. And I was, I think, Talib or some mess. But and that, well, the woman that was the Republican, she came back the next day, and she told her, she said that woman doesn't have a right to say anything to me. And she let the woman know. And that's when I said to myself, these people, and they want to sit there and put us in our place, but they also want us to cry for people who are committing a crime. I'm not saying all people who are coming from the border are bad, because really they're not. It's just the situation is bad. But I'm saying that they're trying to make us feel like we need to be quiet because we're second-class citizens. And that's what this group seems to me. Like, that's what all they care about. And they're letting it be known that they're here to replace us. Because just like how with the caucus right now, that they're fighting with just about all the black caucuses and committees and stuff, they're trying to replace all of them, like, blatantly to our face, like we're nothing. And it seems to them as if they're going to get away with it. And I don't think that's, no, I really don't think that's going to be real for them, because this is America, and African Americans know America. Anyway, they're trying to do whatever they're trying to do, and that's not right. You don't sit there and try to tell us you have the right for freedom of speech and all this other stuff. But any of us say anything, how dare we? We're tokens. We're supposed to bow down. We're not supposed to say anything against any of you. And that's what it goes to before when I said a lot of people would say that African Americans are often being handled or think they're being handled by people from other groups and stuff like that because we're not together. We don't even have a candidate. Cory Booker is not a candidate. And what's her name? Camilla? She's not a candidate. She does say some heartfelt things, but she's not a candidate. Not for us. And I understand a president is supposed to be able to envelope everyone, and that's what you should do. But don't try to win over on this particular group's favor just for you to win the vote, to go help everyone over that group. You can't do that. You shouldn't do that. And like how I said, I'm not Democrat or Republican, but I'm wondering, where is an ADOS candidate? What do you guys think? Why don't we have a real ADOS, DOS, African American candidate for these upcoming elections? Why don't we have our people, real people there? I thought Louis Farrakhan was going to might provide people or other leaders. No one has a candidate anywhere. You see, like with this first lady here, they have another lady that is, I believe, Republican, and she's Hispanic. And she's running also for city council or whatever that is in New York. And, you know, they are really running rings around African Americans. And we still trying to figure out why this one doesn't do this or this or that. And it shouldn't be like that. We should have been up on there. We've been here a lot longer. They only been here a few years. And they're running rings around us, and it feels really stupid. So instead of people stealing each other's content and taking each other's words to try to sound better than another, why not spread that message? I mean, if why not spread that message to try to find a candidate that can do something that is ADOS? I mean, I know there's ADOS that's smart enough to do it. I mean, I'm not, but there has to be somewhere, and some that could be trustworthy and something that we can stand by. They don't have to be Republican, Democrat. We just be independent. I mean, it's not that, I don't think it's that hard. Not if this lady, she just comes up out of nowhere, you know, and she is doing the candidacy and stuff with no problem, you know. And I don't understand why we can't, or why we don't. So, and this first lady, she reminds me of Condoleezza Rice a lot. Her mannerism, how she talks and everything else. And I really don't know who's backing her, so I can't say, you know, I would run out and I would try to find out who's backing her, to see what their policies are, what their beliefs are, what they can do. So, because I don't know her, but whoever is backing her is making sure she looks a certain way and she acts a certain way, and that she's competent. And I don't know if it could be the same people that are backing AOC and all of that, because they see all the drama. These people are very smart. ADOS, we got to get our stuff together. What do you guys think? Do you think that there's any viable candidate anywhere we could find? Or could somebody come up with something? Let me know in the comments below.